Hi guys, welcome to Operation Crypto. The markets are still looking horrific, but if we go down to the lower time frames, we can see we've got a little bit of a bottom forming. So throughout this video, we're going to take a look at the entire market really. We'll have a look at Bitcoin, and then we'll also take a look at Ethereum and take a look at the Bitcoin dominance to see what is exactly going on and what we can look to expect over the course of the next few weeks. If you're new to this channel, please make sure that you are subscribed, hit that like button, and let's crack on. So, welcome to the channel. Firstly, I'd just like to say a big shout out to Chico Crypto. He's struggling at a minute with life. You got to look after yourself, and that's exactly what he's doing now. He's cutting away from content for a few days, or however how long it's going to be for him to recover. It just shows that producing content on a daily basis, year on year after year, can take effect on your mental health. So, big shout out to him. Hope he gets well soon. Right, Bitcoin. Looking horrific, really, isn't it? The markets have been not in the best of form, but it can't just continue to go up, can it? It can't just continue to push massive green candles to the upside, and we must expect drawbacks at some times. This drawback has been pretty savage. We'll just go down onto the daily first and look at that drop. I mean, personally, I don't think it's not as bad as we expect. I mean, we have dropped a significant amount. If you take a look at the top there to the bottom, we've done a 32% drop, and looking at the entire move, close to a 40% drop. If that happens, I mean, I've got a few orange levels marked up here, or should I say circles. Whenever you're in an uptrend, if you're looking for structure, you have to form higher highs followed by higher lows, continual, and just keep pushing up. So far, this is what we have done. We've obviously had the start of a move here. We've created a first higher high, we dropped higher low, we've then risen above that higher high and created another higher high. And currently, if we ignore this wick and look at the closures, we've actually formed a higher low here. So fingers crossed we do bounce out of this range, because we are pretty much in a little bit of a consolidation now. If we drop right down to the 4 hour, for example, you can see that we are pretty much going sideways here now. We're using this daily level support at 46,800. We've got the weekly resistance level at 49k acting as resistance, and as you can see, we've had a few closures above it, but we'll come back and retest this lower level. Dropping right down onto the 30-minute though, I had this bullish pendant formed, and we have had a breakout to upside, but I think it's meaningless at the minute, to be honest. I think TA kind of can be thrown out a window unless you're doing trading vigorously. I think that we're just going to be range bound like this. I mean, we are range bound here, as you can see. Pretty much chops it. Anything that gets high is getting sold off, and we're pushing up well yesterday, and then we've just had another quite nasty sell off again. So looking at the RSI down here in the lower time frames, it was well oversold. So as you can see, that's instigated that push to the upside. We are coming back down now to test this breakout. Let's see if we test this level here at 47,300 and then bounce. For me, like I say, going with that trend that I've showed you there, I'm still remaining bullish. One factor which would sway me is probably closures below 41k, and then if you look at the SMA 50 on the weekly time frame, sorry, this is where I would get mega bearish. I think I've already maxed up here. This is the SMA 50. We broke above it, and once we had that COVID dump, we reclaimed that 50 and then pushed the upside. If we did lose that, it would swing me massively bearish, and I think we'd be into a full bull cycle. But personally, for now, I do think that the market's going to push to the upside. Looking at RSI though on my weekly, it's around mid-ground, so it does show that we've got a lot of room to the upside and a lot of room to the downside. So I mean, a dump wouldn't come as a massive surprise really, but I'm just going to remain bullish with an air of caution in the air. So if you are feeling a little bit lousy and thinking, right, my bags are massively down, what's the next step? If you have not been taking a profit on the way up, I think, and if you're massively underwater now, I think now's the time to hold, personally. I think we will get that bounce. It is just another one of these massive dips like we saw here, and we saw here, and then we've seen another dip here. a dip there too. You just get these dumps on the way up, and they are there to shake you out. This is when whales accumulate, and investors like us, retail, lose out if you get too emotional and end up dropping your bags at a loss. So that's my thoughts on Bitcoin. Really, I'm more in favour of push to the upside, but this level, all eyes on here. If we do lose that at 34k, then I will. I think I'll be packing my bags and waiting out for a few years and buying the dips. So that's my thoughts on Bitcoin. Take a look at Ethereum, which in reality has been fairly strong, really. If we look at this on a daily time frame first, I've got the fib set up, so we had that great move to the upside, created some new all-time highs at 4,880. Rejected. We was using this 382 level for such a long time. I mean, from 15th of November all the way through to, you're talking 8th of December, it was bouncing off at area support. We've had a wick down to the 618, the golden ratio, and it's bounced back up. Maybe looking like it's coming back down to retest that before we do push on. Looking at Ethereum, one thing that somebody posted on Twitter earlier on, and I managed to have a look at it too, is the fact that longs are now starting to open on Bitfinex. We have not we've not had such a significant amount open since the 11th of November. So that shows that there's money now starting to flow back into the market. So that's a good sign that potentially money could be moving into some long positions, which is favouring price action to the upside. But looking at Ethereum USDT, if you're looking for buys, I'd still consider 3,496. I think that could be a potential area where the price does drop. We've had a little bounce so far. We are not. I mean, it would be nice to get back up to 4k, wouldn't it? Which is around there, very close to that 382 fib. I think if we did manage to flip that 382 fib back to support, then I think buys down at this level would be out of question. But if you've got some tether on the side, place some bids down at that region at 3,496. It's just wicked down to perfection, and it could come back down for a retest before it does push to the upside. Just noting that the RSI is still around mid-ground, so we've got a lot of growth up ahead of us. RSI there was overbought, and then we got that drop to the downside. So you can use RSI to your advantage. So that's two assets which are pretty much covered for this video. BTC, I am still remaining bullish until the time comes that we do lose this. I mean, I think if we did lose 41k, it would get a bit nasty. But I think we're going to manage to, fingers crossed, keep this daily level of support at 46,800. And then let's pray that we can really start to push on. So that's my thoughts today on Bitcoin and Ethereum. It's tough. Whenever the market is dropping so savagely, and you see your portfolio dropping in dollar value, it plays with your emotions. It's not the best feeling, and it can lead you to do, especially if you're new to the markets, it can lead you to, drastic decisions by selling your bags. The bags that you've personally researched, the bags that you actually think are going to do well, will get a massive market drop on Bitcoin, and it drags everything else down with it. So it is disheartening, but you just got to take a rough with a smooth. It was so nice when everything was going up and everybody were thinking, right, for example, let's have a look at VeChain. It will push into the upside, and everybody were thinking, right, this is it. It's going to start pushing to the upside now. I want to buy in. But when it's back down here, people don't want to buy it. They don't want to buy an asset that's falling, and that's just the nature of the beast. If you're buying assets when others are fearful and fundamentally there is nothing wrong with the asset, it's a good time to buy it. It seems very ironic, but it is. It's the best time to buy when everybody else is selling. It is a good time to buy because they always say buy when others are fearful. Like I say, that's going to do it for today. Just some thoughts on the market and what I expect over the course of the next few weeks. Hopefully, we'll get that push to the upside. That's going to do it. If you're new to this channel, please make sure that you are subscribed. Hit that like button, and I'll catch you next time.